Before we get started with today's podcast, we'd like to ask returning listeners to leave us a rating or review on your favorite podcast platform, iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And if you really enjoy it, share a link to this podcast with friends or family who would enjoy hearing our weekly discussions about basketball and basketball culture. Now, on to the show.
Again, isn't it amazing when Michigan can keep this game to a 19-foot, 9-inch game inside that three-point line? It's all there. Nice move by Steve Fisher here. Turn it into the 19-9 game.
Welcome to the 99 Podcast. I'm Josh Barnett, part of the HVS crew, and tonight I am here with a couple of special guests and a couple of my best friends. I am here with Aaron Loomer, who's been on the pod with me before. He is owner of 19.9 and really the smartest person in 19.9 and also the dumbest person in 19.9. He plays both roles brilliantly. Welcome to the podcast, Aaron.
Hello, Matt.
This is so stupid. And also here with Matt Rival, who does all our graphic design. Matt and I have been great friends since high school, and it's been a lot of fun to bring him into the fold and get him designing stuff. And he is the mastermind behind all those Big East shirts that you guys love so much that we were cracking up about on the way up here. Welcome.
What up?
So we are sitting here in Loomer's house, this multi-million-dollar mansion, and we wish maybe we'll upgrade maybe after this New York trip.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
So we're here at Loomer's house. We catch a flight tomorrow morning to head to NYC, and I was just gonna record this with you guys just to talk a little bit about the trip. And see if it's worth the shit. If this is worth anything, then we'll put it out to people, and if it's not, we won't, and we'll have it for ourselves. But we catch a flight tomorrow morning. Loomer, you fly out a little bit later in the afternoon because you're an idiot, like we already talked about, and screwed up the flight, yada yada. Me and Matt get to go out together, and tomorrow we start at the Slam offices. Who's excited?
I'm excited.
What are you excited for?
Oh, man. Just being a fan since they came out. I mean, not as big a fan as you, Josh, but like anytime for me personally, there was a Jordan cover. I bought it, had to have it.
Still.
Yeah. I still look at them. And just being an artist, just seeing like a magazine finally came out that spoke to me, like from a creative standpoint, that was huge for me growing up.
Yeah, that's actually a really interesting point because most of the stuff on my notes, I don't know if you looked at them when I had you print them out off for me, but most of my stuff was just like the cultural influence. But I was way more so the basketball player than you, and you were way more so the artist and the creative than I am. And so to have a magazine that kind of hits on both of those too, but the creative aspect, like it started like a trend of the slam pose. Like, you know, the covers where everybody, and anytime you got your pictures taken for basketball, you'd be like, shit, dude, strike a slam pose and see what turns out. So we get to do that tomorrow. We get to meet with some guys out there, tour the facility, and we're really excited about it. We're going to knock out a podcast, too. And we hope that you get out there in time, Loomer.
Me too.
So, what else we got going on once we get out there? So the nighttime right after that, we're gonna try to meet up with our boy Ari, go out to eat with Ari,
longtime friend of the brand.
friend of the brand. Remember how long ago was it that we did that for him? The 40th. It was his 40th birthday party, right?
You're right. That was shorts and shirts, if I remember right.
Shorts and shirts. So it had to have been a couple years into our existence.
Yeah.
He was headed to the Michigan IU football game, had a bunch of friends, and so we did the special insert tags and shit.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. And they were all sent to me because I was living in Bloomington at the time. And didn't I take those to the hotel and left them for them?
That's right.
Yeah,
didn't you also do that for the Hoosier Gym, the guys from Minnesota that came in for the Hoosier Gym? Or was
maybe
that
that's
Amo?
the story I'm thinking of. Or maybe that was Amo.
I think you delivered to Ari too, but you didn't meet him face to face. This will be our first time meeting him face to face, so I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so he's been with us from the jump. So besides that, that's kind of our day tomorrow. But besides that, and besides the slam stuff, which obviously I'm thrilled for because I'm a slam nerd and it's meant a lot to me growing up and all that stuff. But we'll get into that pod tomorrow. What are some of the things you guys are looking most forward to with our New York trip? So we have the slam stuff. We have the Mr. Throwback pop-up shop on Thursday. And then we're going to try to go to the games on Friday at MSG. So, Aaron, I'll toss it to you. What are you looking most forward to?
I'm probably looking most forward to the networking. You have the planned meetings when you go on trips like this, but it's usually the unplanned opportunities that I feel like are the most fun because there's really no way to prepare for those, and you're kind of thinking on your feet. You never know who you're going to bump into an event this size, and I feel like that's where we really shine because that's when our authenticity shows through. It's not scripted. It's not anything we've prepared. It's just our passion for the sport and our passion for collegiate licensing that kind of separates us and gives us that opportunity to stand out.
Well, and just meeting new people, right? We all love that. We just love that.
Well, not everybody.
Who? What? Who?
Well, there's some people who don't like to meet new people.
In our company?
God, no, not in our company, but in general. You made a sweeping statement there.
I'm talking about 99, man. We love people. God damn. You, Matt?
Oh, man, I was just thinking, obviously, Madison Square Garden is a place I've always wanted to go visit, but just doing the pop-up shops that we're going to do, watching people interact with our product and knowing that how hard we work to make it look like what they want, to what they remember getting or wearing or seeing being played in. People getting excited about the stuff that I have a help in creating, man. That's just really cool to see. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I wanted to touch on that. So, Aaron, this whole 40th anniversary Big East stuff, which I know we've kind of gotten a little bit away from, but that's really what this whole collection centers around, was something that started a couple years ago. Can you speak on that?
Yeah, sure. So we started having these conversations about 2 years ago. We were recommended to the Big East office by one of the schools that we've worked with for a long time, and we have a really good relationship with. And they made the recommendation to the Big East to consider 1999 to develop a collection of apparel to celebrate, again, the 40th anniversary of the conference. That process, if you can believe it or not, started about 2 years ago at this point. So it just shows you it takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of perseverance to pull an event like this off for a company our size. But here we are, man. We're right on the cusp of doing some great things, and we're going to have our product in Madison Square Garden. We're doing a pop-up with a really good boutique out there. So patience pays off in the end.
Yeah, so it was about 2 years ago, you said, and I can't remember, when you flew out there, did you just turn around and fly right back?
Yeah, it was a day trip. So I flew out, I took the first flight out to New York City in the morning, and, thankfully from Indianapolis, that's a direct flight. Had about a 45 to an hour-long meeting with the conference and with the representative from Learfield, who were both, just fantastic people. And we charted out the next steps, and really it was about a 12-month action plan that we landed on. And we worked over the course of the last year to, again, bring us to where we're at now.
Yeah, that's awesome. I remember you taking that out there, and I remember putting that teaser out on Instagram, and people were really excited.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that some people thought that, we were moving to New York or that we were, opening a store in New York. No, we're still broke, guys. We just had some business in New York. There's a big difference. So part of what Matt touched on, and which led me to that question to you, Aaron, I'm going to throw it back to Matt too on that, was the preparation and the timing. So not just to get this Big East collection set up with the proper people and working the proper channels to get it in MSG, and myself working with Mr. Throwback, Michael at Mr. Throwback, to get that pop-up stuff going. We had a huge undertaking from a design standpoint to get this stuff here, because it's not only what we're doing in New York, but we have to be ready for Selection Sunday when everything else drops too. So it was kind of like a crazy ass time of trying to get all this shit together in a tight time frame. And Matt, I know you busted your ass to do that. Do you want to talk about that for a minute? How much you busted your ass?
Well, I think we had the first order that went into, some of these were a part of, it was like 22 pairs I was messing with at once to hit this specific time frame. So yeah, couple late nights on that one, but was most fun about it is just knowing the new shorts that come out. I mean, even though I get to see this stuff, before everybody, and we're talking about it like months in advance and stuff, like to actually see it, get behind making it, and then start seeing the proofs come in and start getting more excited about this, because that people are just going to lose. Some people are going to lose their minds on this stuff. So like
on some of the shit is incredible.
It's
I mean,
so funny.
I love all of them like they were my kids.
Oh yeah.
But it is funny. I talk to Aaron about this all the time because you and I see this shit on a daily basis and sometimes like on an hourly basis. And so it's almost by the time we get to this point, if we didn't have this New York trip, like backing all this stuff up and the theatrics of all the stuff that we're about to do, you almost like, to me, I almost get tired of looking at it. Mm-hmm. When you go through the design phase, is there a time where you're just like, I cannot look at these Villanova 95 shorts anymore? Please get this off my computer into our manufacturer.
Only a couple pairs have ever kind of been like that for me, where it was really a grind to try to get them to fit the pattern of the shorts and to actually, I mean, how hard we work on the details of like, okay, I think that stripe in this old picture is 3/4 inches thick. And so, I'm like going through the details of that, but it's kind of funny because while I'm doing it, I'm still imagining how excited like these are going to make people feel like, and what they're going to look like when they're printed. I just it's kind of fun, like, honestly.
Yeah, so like kind of to piggyback on that, I get excited to bring them back because I think that the dudes that wore them and the coaches that coached them and the people that were at the school while those were being worn are going to see them, and it's going to like bring a smile to their face. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's like my driving force. And then like it's kind of the same thing of what you were just saying of these are going to make some people like really happy. But from and Aaron, you were the one that kind of coined this term that we're curators of the hardwood history. That's how we kind of got to hardwood history. Our tagline or whatever was we wanted to kind of take it upon ourselves to bring back this stuff that is etched in basketball history. And so we get to do that, with each pair, and we try to do it with each T-shirt, obviously too. But the shorts is what really jumps out.
Yeah, and it's something that I don't even really fully appreciate is the amount of research that goes into what you guys do is remarkable. I mean, it's so much harder than just looking up a Google image and then sending that to someone else to be designed.
No, that's basically it.
Nah, I think it's a little bit more than that. But I mean,
I just wanted to try to make Matt mad.
Oh yeah, well that's always worth it. But I mean, how many of our shorts were before good quality photography was even available? And how do you guys go about doing that? It just blows my mind.
Those are trade secrets we can't give away.
Thank goodness.
Nice.
That was a test.
Nice try, buddy. Nice try. But from the same standpoint on that, and I know this pod's kind of deviating from our thing. It's just because I don't have anything written down and didn't prepare for this, which should come as no surprise to anybody that listens. But from the design standpoint, which we've already kind of hit on, and the research standpoint, which we've already hit on, none of that shit is possible if we don't have the licensing part. So I don't know what question I want to ask, but I kind of want you just to speak on the licensing. Maybe your biggest challenge with the licensing, or I always answer the customer emails, right?
Right.
And I answer all the social media stuff. And a lot of times I get the question of like, how come you don't have this school? How come you don't have this school? How come, well, why won't they talk to you? Or if I say like, we've been trying for 5 years, we can't get it. Cause there's been some schools that we've tried with 5 years and it doesn't make sense to us that we don't have them, but that's just kind of the game. So I always try to kind of explain it as an inexact science. We don't really know how it's going to play out, but can you speak to our listeners about the licensing game?
Yeah, basically there's just certain schools out there that we don't like and we won't carry their license. It's just that simple.
That's bullshit. I like every school. Golly. What are you trying to do here?
No, I'm kidding, of course. I think it's the one thing that I've learned since we got into this is that every school is different, and it's just a case-by-case basis of trying to get licensing. Every trademark and licensing director has different goals that they have for their university, different objectives, and really what we try and do is figure out what their strategy is and how we can complement it. And it looks different at every school. There's some schools where we've recreated vintage programs. There's other schools where we haven't been able to access vintage marks, and we've done the best that we can with current marks and celebrating current teams. So it's just, it's slow, it's methodical, but it's getting easier. I will say that. You gave me a lot of credit there for going after licensing, but going after licensing is so much easier today than it was even 2 years ago, because of the way that our brand has grown and the way that our audience has responded to what we do. We have a very unique position in the market that not many people are filling, and we've got a really cool product with the retro shorts that nobody else is doing, so it's easy to get attention. And then, I think we have advocates within the licensing industry too. We've got great relationships with some good schools, and it's a small community, and they all know each other. So if you do right by everyone, then it's not too difficult to get a recommendation about where to go next.
Yeah, absolutely. I do think that we kind of see that because I kind of have my hand in a lot of different shit with 99, so I get it from kind of all angles, but I'm not really a specialized guy in anything type deal. And so that licensing conversation becomes easier because we're loaded with more ammo now, for lack of a better term,
Yeah, absolutely. We're doing a good job selling the results that we've delivered rather than a promise of what we can become.
And we still only have scratched the tip of the iceberg.
Absolutely.
There's a lot because there's going to be people listening these dudes are talking like they got everybody. They ain't done shit.
If you would have known where we were a couple years ago, it feels like we have everybody.
There have been some dark days in 99 history.
It's always a special feeling, though, when you hear a school come after us rather than us going after them.
That's been cool. A big, that's been a change because we've had a few of those. And it's like, wait a sec, we're supposed to send you those emails, but we're happy you sent us one.
Yeah, that's a good point, Matt. I also get a rush when we announce a new school and it blows up on social media. There's just nothing like that, like looking down at your phone and seeing all those notifications and being like, wow, we really struck a nerve here, and we're going after a passionate audience that gets what we're about. That's fun.
Providence hit pretty hard last night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
On Twitter. So I kind of let the cat out of the bag because I had a lot of people asking about Providence. And then I was showing Matt on the way up here that I always just crack up because people are just super thrilled about it, But then you always have a dude that says about time. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you're talking about. I saw that last night. I almost sent a screenshot to you, and this is what keeps us going right here.
I just start laughing because it's dude, if we could have launched this 3 years ago, we would have launched it 3 years ago. It's as about time as it is to you, it's about time for us times 30. You know what I mean? But it's just funny. Twitter's just funny.
It is, and it's funny the dynamic that we have internally here at 19.9. I mean, without the licensing, it's tough to keep the new product going, and sometimes we go through, like you said, a dry spell or the dark times where I'm afraid to pick up my phone from you, Josh, because I know exactly what you're calling about. You want to know where we stand and things, and sometimes it's just it takes longer than you would hope, but it's all for a good end.
Well, I think the podcast is going a little bit too long for my liking because I need Matt to start designing shit and you to give me more licensing. But I was gonna say something about Thursday because we talked about Wednesday. We'll hit it slam because I wanted to kind of give the itinerary to our trip, just kind of getting through it. And I know we kind of went off on a tangent there. But Thursday we have the Mr. Throwback pop-up shop, and I believe that's on 9th Street. Is that right?
Yeah.
I don't know why you're looking at me for that.
You made the graphic,
yeah.
Matt. So 9th Street in Manhattan, New York. And we'll be there from 12 to 8 with him doing some stuff. And we'll have our stuff inside Madison Square Garden. I'm talking to you guys like you guys don't know this, but I'm really just speaking to the podcast listeners now. But I'm gonna keep looking at you guys because it's easier. But the stuff inside MSG will be Big East based, but the stuff at Mr. Throwback will have a lot of different schools. So it doesn't have to be it's a lot of Big East, but we'll have a lot more variety. Quantities are limited though, so if you're listening to this on Wednesday or Thursday morning, you want to get there when we open so you can secure your pairs. I know that we touched on Providence. We do have Providence shorts and shirts coming to Mr. Throwback, and they were a little bit too late in the game to get into MSG, so they will not be available at Madison Square Garden. If you want that shit, get down to Mr. Throwback and get it early because it'll go. What's one thing, Matt, that you're looking forward to with the Mr. Throwback pop-up?
Oh, man, I just like looking at all the stuff that he posts online, period. It feels like a museum as much as it is like a little store in that place. I also think it'll be interesting. I've never been involved in like doing a selling on site with you guys before, and just being in New York, how many people will be familiar with the brand and come down there? I think that would be crazy. I'm looking forward to that. But also just seeing your shop.
Under 3.
Yeah. Us.
I'll go over slightly. Yeah. What about you, Aaron? What are you looking forward to on our Thursday?
Oh, that's easy. I'm looking forward to us turning around any cash that we make on our sales and buying stuff from Mr. Throwback.
What are you looking for?
Oh, that's a good question. I saw a vintage Islanders jersey.
Oh, shit. Here
well,
we
you
go.
knew you knew I was going to go hockey direction.
Jesus Christ.
It's interesting. I see him. He gets Cubbies stuff in there, like the jacket. That would look pretty cool.
Did you see the Don Mattingly jacket that was featured?
Oh, that was absurd.
Yeah,
that was so
good. That's Evansville, born and bred. But that's like one of his treasured ones. Did you notice that when he was talking?
Gets a lot of compliments in Yankee Stadium with that guy.
Yeah, that's what he said in that thing too. I'm probably looking most forward to talking with him because I'm the one that kind of set it up and have talked to him multiple times, through DMs, and we might have got on the phone once or twice, but just sitting down and chopping it up with him is going to be a lot of fun. And then obviously I want to take a look at some of those college jerseys. So I got a couple special packed in the bag that I'm going to wear for the pod since we're videoing it.
That video he posted himself trying to jump in the St. John shorts.
Hilarious.
To recreate that Sports Illustrated cover. That was amazing.
And he yells.
I know. I loved him just from that. So
No doubt. So yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. And we'll put out some more stuff before we get there on Thursday, obviously too, and then we'll have the pod with Mr. Throwback himself, and we'll ask some questions and get that out to you guys too. And then Friday we're going to the Garden. Silence, cricket. Everybody smiled at me. Nobody said anything.
It's just had to have a moment of silence. This is gonna be pretty awesome.
Have you guys ever been to MSG? Either one of you?
Never have. No.
I've walked next to it. It was pretty cool.
It's huge, right?
Yeah, massive. It's crazy to think it's in the middle of a city like that too. Just anytime a stadium is like that, but Manhattan's crazy, so it's just weird that it's there, and I can't imagine what it looks like just on the inside of it. I mean, you see the court in games or whatever,
right?
But I want to see everything else.
Well, I think it was when the NBA draft was there and it finally hit me, like, wait, they're having this in Madison Square Garden? Like, how fucking big is this place? Because it was like that. I was like, that's not on the court. They're not having that. And so then I started doing some research. This is like 10 years ago. I started doing some research on it, and I was like, shit, this place is massive. And then I was talking to John on the phone, and he was saying that it's built on top of Union Station, so the trains like run under it.
Oh, you're kidding.
No, so it's like a stop on the station, apparently. Like, we sound like the dumbest motherfuckers right now. Like, we have no idea what New York is about. Like, everybody that's from New York that's listening is like, these dudes are about to get eaten alive at this.
Yes.
And that's what I'm looking forward to. Like,
with the full experience.
Way to bring that one home.
Yeah, exactly. So, so I'm looking like crazy forward to just seeing the Garden itself, obviously seeing our product there, and then seeing some games. Like, I haven't been to a conference tourney for probably 5-6 years. I know. We used to go to the Big Ten, or I used to go to the Big Ten with Wingert every time it was up here. We had great seats, and that shit was fun, man.
Oh, conference tournaments are where it's at. They're so much fun to watch.
They're awesome, man. And some of them are getting canceled now, though.
Well, the games aren't being canceled, but the fans are being canceled, right?
Well, the Ivy League canceled the whole thing.
Oh, they just cut it out.
No games.
That's nuts.
The whole shebang. Where are you guys at on the because it's a big story, right? It's a national story, the coronavirus, and we've been keeping an eye on it because of this New York trip. Thoughts, fears, think that anything's going to get canceled, delayed? I know we were talking a little bit off mic on this and had some thoughts. Anybody want to share?
I could say in preparation for the trip, I was going to different like CVS and Walgreens, just trying to get like a personal bottle of like hand sanitizer to bring with me just to use so I feel comfortable about myself, like sanitize my hands. Everywhere was sold out, even in where we're from, like Target, everything. Couldn't even find it. So I'm like, people are going weird, like crazy about it. And we don't even have any cases near us, not even from miles and miles and miles. But, and, you know, I don't know. I've been trying to follow just New York in general, how they're dealing with it as a state, and it just doesn't seem to be spreading that much there yet. So I'm not personally that much worried about it. We were saying about at a 5%, maybe a little lower, but you know, I think big events like this, they are starting to seem like they're tripping out. So I don't know, man. I'd hate for it to get canceled though.
Where you at with it, Loomer?
Man, I don't even know. I feel like it changes by the hour.
It depends on what you read, like what the latest thing is that you read.
It really does. You know, what the direction I would take that question is, what's shocked me has been the impact on business of the coronavirus and the complexity of dealing with something on a global level with, you know, regards to supply chains, with regards to port of entry and some of the gaps that exist there now, and some of the burden that's being borne, all the way now to, you know, the part where we're worried about audiences showing up. I mean, obviously we have a vested interest in people showing up to the Garden because our product's going to be for sale there. So I think I've come away with just a better appreciation for how interconnected life is and our business is to factors that are really outside of our control. And you know, I think, you know, I've told you, Josh, and I've told Chad, our other owner, like the way that we've dealt with this as a business and a brand has been remarkable, because we've pulled all of this shit off in light of challenge after challenge after challenge associated with coronavirus. So I think it's been pretty remarkable. Yeah.
So it's tough, right? Because I like to just be a dick and say a bunch of stuff just to make people laugh and that crap. And I don't want to come across as insensitive, you know, because none of us know really what this is and what this is going to be. I thought it was important to kind of bring it up on this because I wanted this to be kind of like our running oral history of our trip.
Yeah.
And so it's really consumed a lot of our time and a lot of our conversations, because it's just this national story. So like my hope by putting this on here and talking about it and seeing kind of where we stand and us talking about it is that we are able to play this, you know, 5 years down the line from now and be like, oh yeah, the coronavirus, like, remember that crazy shit?
Well, I think that's a really interesting question though that you sort of asked, is how will this event be remembered?
Right.
You know, 5 years time. Is it going to be, you know, like we remember swine flu, remember bird flu, but I don't remember any specifics about that. The one that I remember is Y2K.
Oh yeah.
Like I remember people losing their shit over Y2K, and then it just
like happened. Oh fuck, it hit midnight, and then it hit midnight 01.
Yeah,
and nothing happened.
but I mean, there was just something about Y2K that felt different going in, and I feel like and I don't know if it's just because it's election time or what's going on, but it feels like it's a bigger story now than it's been in the past. And maybe it's just getting blown up. Maybe it's nothing, but who knows?
Well, I think the hope, obviously, is that it's just something that's overhyped and it's not.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, like, but we just don't know. And I think it's the fear of the unknown. But some of the videos and shit that you see of these people at Costco, like running and hoarding toilet paper and bottled water and stuff, like I'm not sure what those people are expecting. Mm-hmm. Look, I don't understand. Like, are we going to be quarantined for 3 years? You just bought 876 rolls of toilet paper.
So
I don't get it.
So what would you be hoarding if not toilet paper, Josh?
Michael Jordan DVDs. Just kidding. I already have all those.
I think
I was going to say between the two of us. I would say this: if people get really freaked out and they still have the tournament, we were talking about how we might have free roam of that whole stadium. We'd just be trying out all kinds of different seats and just having the time of our life.
Like we might end up in the handshake lines at the end of this shit if we play our cards right.
I feel like you might get some garbage. Josh.
I might like end up on the end of the bench just with the team.
Bravo hits a no-look shot from the corner to win the Big East championship for Seton Hall.
I'm rebounding during like warm-ups.
I've never seen you make that shot, by the way. Dang it. I know. So anyways, let's just wrap this up because we're about the 30-minute mark. I really don't know if this was worth the shit, but we might put it out to you guys. We might not. But I do appreciate you guys hopping on here with us. And I thought that for our trip, at the end of each night, if we had 30 minutes time, we could recap our day and kind of put that out to everybody, or at least have it for ourselves. So get used to this shit is what I'm saying. Thanks, guys.
Fun. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the 19.9 podcast with HVS, the High Volume Shooters. For more information, check out the blog at 19.9.com under HVS. And while you're there, do yourself a favor and pick up some retro college shorts. Till next time.